Oh, hi there. Is it time to start class already? Well, today we're going to start our first assignment and we're going to make a Nirvana cake. Let's get started. For today's assignment, we're going to want a few things you can find around your house. We're going to want some sculpting tools, even a little spoon will do. We're going to want some aluminum foil, and we're also going to want a baking pan, preferably something deep so it has some support for our cake. Plus, you're going to want to find an object. In this case, we happen to be using a half-scale Buddha. If you don't happen to have that laying around your house, I'm sure you creative artists will find something great to work with. So I've never done this before. It's going to be a really interesting experiment. It works in my head. Maybe it's going to work in reality. I don't know. But in either case, I still get to eat cake at the end of the day. So it's going to be a great time. This mold is going to be a very, very simple mold, low-tech mold. But even so, we can still talk about a lot of the mold making terms, techniques, things that are used within the industry. It all still applies, even though we're just making a very, very rudimentary, hacked together kind of system. With this mold, we're going to be taking a mold right off of the face. We're going to have a wonderful cake Buddha face at the end of the day. But to get there, we're going to have to use what we have just laying around the house. So to start out, we're going to pull out a sheet of aluminum foil. And something I want you guys to take a look at when you pull out your aluminum foil, you may not be able to see this on camera, but this is a shiny side, and this is actually a little more matte side. So there's actually two sides to the aluminum. And we want to make sure that we use the shiny side against our model. And the reason for that is that shiny side is actually a little less textured, right? And that's why it's shiny. So therefore, we're going to get less physical interaction between the mold that we're pulling off and then the cast that we put into the mold. In this case, it would be cake. But we want to really make sure we have as little interaction between the surface of the mold and the cake so that that cake is going to pop right out. So what we're going to do here is we're going to apply our first layer of aluminum foil. And what I'm going to aim for is I want to get some hair detail and I want to get the face detail. I probably won't get as far back as the ears. Maybe we'll cut it off right there. But what I want you to start doing is thinking about this in mold making terms, right? So with our mold making term, this would now be our splash coat or our detail coat, right? And we want to apply it as tight and true to all the detail here that we can so that we can capture as much of that as we can. So what I'm doing here is I'm starting in the deepest crevices in the very center. So these are the pits of the eyes right here, the little tear ducts in the eyes. And what I want to do is I want to make sure I have enough slack in my aluminum foil so that I don't puncture through. It's really important. I want to keep this layer all intact. I don't want to puncture through there or any place in the lips. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to scrunch this up a little bit, and I might end up sacrificing a little bit of my detail or get a few extra wrinkles in there that I wouldn't want. But what it's going to do is it's going to help me keep a nice, solid bowl in which my cake batter is not going to fall through any punctures or anything like that. So I don't know if you guys can see this on camera, but this is going to be interesting because I've got just a little bit of an undercut here with the nose, right around the nostril detail there. So that's something I'm going to want to be aware of when I start taking the mold off of our object. But I'd like to try to capture that as much as I can. And even here, the tip of the nose is a little bit of an undercut as well. So just things to keep in mind as I'm working. Okay, so I'm at that point where I'm going to start using my tool a bit more. I can feel right here, I've got a little bit of space in there, a little bit of gap, but I don't want to push on that too hard. I'm going to let that little detail go. Maybe we can capture it a little bit. But now what I want to start doing is I want to start burnishing my aluminum foil. And what I can do is really get those nice little wrinkles to lay down as much as possible. And so I can really get as close to the detail as I can with this technique. Here we are. Splash coat is complete. I have a few puncture marks here and there where it went through, but I'm not going to worry about that. I think we're doing pretty good overall. Our next step is going to be to reinforce this with a couple more layers of aluminum foil. Now, the reason we do that is the same reason we did it with plaster, right? The detail coat is what captures everything that we want. That's all the information that we want. And then everything that builds up on top of that is just to reinforce this information layer. So let's get to it. Okay, so we've got a few layers built up now, but it's still relatively flimsy. So what we're going to do now is actually crumple up some aluminum foil and start placing that to give this a little more body. So I'm feeling pretty good about where we're at this point. So what we have here is we have our mold. It's maybe needs a little more work. There's a few little things I want to do to it to just spice it up just a little bit. But for the most part, I'm feeling pretty confident about what we have here. And one little thing I'd like to point out is the fact that we have our dish that fits on perfectly, right? So I have my aluminum foil right up to the edge of the dish all the way around. Now, in the mold making world, we would call this a mother mold, because what we have here is we have a flexible mold. We have even a little bit of an undercut towards the back, which I'm going to have to sort of flex this off and pull it off. So when you have a flexible mold that isn't going to support under its own weight and the weight of the casting inside of it, what you often will do is add a mother mold onto that, a rigid mold on top of your flexible mold. Now, in most cases, what you end up doing is you form your rigid mold to your flexible mold. But in this case, we had to take our flexible mold and accommodate the pre-existing form that we already have. So I'm going to start to pull this off, and I want to try to preserve as much of that detail as I can. And then again, as I go, I'm probably going to have to do some little adjustments, but I'm really curious to see how well this works on the inside. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. There we go. Look at that. Not bad, huh? So my flexible mold comes right out of my mother mold, nice and easy. And I am quite impressed with the detail that I got out of this. It's actually better than I expected. Now, I still have wrinkles and I have little nooks and crannies and things in there that I'm gonna have to deal with, but for the most part, it's pretty good quality. I'm pretty happy with that. Now, one last thing that I wanna do to this mold is I have this neck here to contend with. Now, if you imagine, if I fill this up with cake batter, I'm only gonna be able to fill to this point, and I lose all the detail around the outside of the head here and the hair detail. So this is something we do a lot in mold making, right? Which is we take a mold off of an object, and then in order to get a better casting, we actually sometimes will adjust our mold to suit our casting. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. Is I'm gonna adjust my mold. I'm actually gonna kind of re-sculpt it a little bit, but it's adjusting the mold to now give me a better casting on the other side. I don't know if you guys noticed earlier in the video, I left this aluminum foil a little bit long around the neck so that I could then bend this up after the fact. Now what I want to do is I want to work with my flexible mold inside of my rigid mold. I don't want to take that out because I don't want a chance warping this or distorting this any further. So I'm going to work right in here, and this will keep my form as true as I can get it. All right, here we go. So our mold is now complete. We've got the adjusted neck here, which I'm actually quite happy with, and we're ready to cast. So the first thing we're gonna wanna do is apply mold release. Now you may call this cooking spray, but this is actually, in our mold making world, this is gonna be mold release. Now all I had was olive oil, which probably isn't the best to go on a cake, but that's all of I had. Okay, so we're going to use a technique called spray brush spray. And this is a technique that we use in the mold making world. It's not so crucial to use in the cooking world, but I want to show you guys anyway. As we get further into the process, it'll be something that's going to be very handy for you guys. So spray brush spray is exactly as it sounds. First we spray. And then we take a brush, and normally you want to do this with a chip brush, something that's disposable that you can throw away after time. But for now, I don't have any clean chip brushes, so I'm going to use a kitchen silicone brush. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to brush in that mold release. You see that what happens with a spray mold release, the reason you want to brush it in is because when you spray, it accumulates on all the peaks, but it kind of negates some of those nooks and crannies that you end up with. So what we want to do is we want to make sure we get a nice even coverage over the whole surface. So we're going to take some of that accumulation on the peaks and work it down into the crevices. And then with spray brush spray, our final step is to spray one last time. And the reason for that final spray is what we want to do is we want to go ahead and try to mitigate any of those brush strokes that we have. Now with a silicone brush and this, we're not necessarily probably getting that many brush strokes. And even if we are, it's not going to make a difference when it comes to cake, but it's good practice. So the idea there is just to have that nice smooth finish with your mold release after the fact. Now we're ready to cast. So here we are. We've got our casting ready to cure in the oven for a little bit, and then we'll pull it out and we'll see what results we have. Ready?
No.
No? You got it? You want to get it?
Oh, that's done.
That's done?
Oh, it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah, it's crusty. Yeah,
Alright.
that's done.
Thank you.
It's coming out, no problem.
Yeah, so
You don't want you want this dome to be on there. You want it to look like that, right?
no, I don't. I actually was thinking of cutting it off,
Oh, okay.
but I just wanted to. Should I cut it off now while it's in
No.
there?
It's up to you.
Yeah.
No, it's awfully hard. Yeah. Sometimes you got a big hand, right?
Yeah.
If you have a big hand, you know it's gonna come off. You can
Yep.
almost kind of like this.
Yep.
Oh, I got a big hand. Is that what you wanted it to look like? Oh, you made a face. Now that makes sense. Okay.
Lost a little tip of the nose, but
Oh,
what do you
for
think?
crying out loud. Pretty neat. That's pretty good.
a little overcooked up there, huh?
It's sticky, very
Yeah.
sticky.
Yeah.
Why? Well, how much? Why did you?
I put a lot of spray on there.
Like oil.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what are you gonna do with it after?
Well, now you put the glaze on it.
Oh, now I'm just wondering. It's gotta dry up more than that for your glaze. So you know what I'm saying?
Right. So I can leave it tonight, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't cover it. No.
Don't even cover it.
No.
Okay.
Just let it dry. Yeah, dry. Just let it in. If you put a cover, it's gonna make it moist. Yeah.
Let that dry up a little
And
bit.
keep your mold, because tomorrow, if you need to put it back in there for some reason, like if you don't want to put your hand on it,
Yeah.
you might want to use the mold.
This mold is in good enough condition that I could make another thing out of it.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that. I thought it was going to all fall apart. Thought I was going to have to destroy the mold to get it out.
Yeah. But I wouldn't put as much oil, you know,
Okay. Okay.
because I think it's awfully sticky. It's starting to dry up a little bit. Oh, it's better. Down here, see, this is drier.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's gonna dry. Let it air dry. So you want the glaze to be very clear.
No, I want it to be like white, but I want it to be thin. Okay.
Okay, now I understand what you did. But you're so secretive that you wouldn't tell me.
You didn't ask.
Huh?
You didn't ask.
I did. What are you doing?
Well, you asked.
Yeah,
when
you're
I was
making a
done.
cake. You're making a cake. And it's shaped like that. Oh, get out of here. Oh, my God. Oh, and he wants me to help him with ideas and tell him some ideas. Only tell me half the story. Really? You're terrible. You're hard to work with. You are. And how did you do that more by hand? First, made all of the.
This is the statue that's out in the yard.
Oh.
So I put tinfoil over the statue, and then we got that.
Did you clean your statue first?
I wiped it down a little bit. That's, there's a little bit of nature in there.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God. I wish you'd tell me what you're doing. You're too secretive. You keep it all to yourself.
All right. Well, no, I just got a lot going on in my head.
Yeah.
One of the next projects, I'm gonna do chocolate. All right.
Yeah.
So you're gonna help me from the very beginning on chocolate. Okay.
I'm not a chocolate lady.
Oh, well.
The lady that was a chocolate lady passed away, I think.
All right. Well, you're the next best thing then. Here we go. Nirvana Cake is complete. Let me know what you guys think. I'd love to see some videos or some photos of what you guys come up with. Put them in the comments below. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and hit that little bell notification so you know when we have a new video coming out. Best of luck, and I'll see you soon. All right, stand right there.
Yeah.
No, over there.
On
And
this
over
side.
there. So you were saying, I want to share this with the audience at home.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, no. You're
So you've been a cake decorator for many years, professional cake decorator.
Right.
Or, would you say cake maker or cake decorator?
Cake decorator.
Cake decorator. But you made a lot of cakes too.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And so you know what you're talking about, huh?
I hope so. I don't think it looks too bad. I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. So it just came out of thin glaze. So we were saying before, when I put the glaze that we had come up with, it looked good on the test pieces that we did.
Right.
But once it got onto the detail, it was so thick, you couldn't even tell that it was a face barely.
Right.
Because it rested in all those little recesses.
Right, right. Yeah.
What do you think of the nose?
That looks fantastic.
Not too bad, huh?
No.
So
You patched it up.
yeah, a little patch on the
That's
nose.
very good.
Yeah.
Very good. You did a nice job. A nice display.
You want to taste it?
The cake?
Yeah.
I guess I have to.
Well, it just as a professional.
Oh, okay. Mm-mm. Ooh, good.
Is that all right?
Yes.
All right.
Very good.
Light and fluffy.
Almost tastes lemon.
Yep. I put a little
I'll
extract in
say
there.
there you go.
Yeah. So
It tastes lemon.
there you go.
You
Yeah.
did a great job.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I like the face.
So, and then you're gonna come back when we do chocolate too, right?
Come on, man.
Huh? No, it's fine. Just come over here and talk.
You put me on that spot. Put me on that camera.
You have a lot of knowledge, and I think it'd be good to share.
Okay, Mom. But I really think myself is because the oil it sat in,
Mm-hmm.
and when you put the glaze on, I feel the pores were open more on here,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
it probably went inside the cake more.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's what happened there.
I see. So it's
See, this has a coat. This was firm. This was like baked. It's more baked
yeah.
because you had a lot of oil
Yeah.
on that. Because when you took it out, that part, even when I bake a cake, it doesn't look like that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? The other side of it.
Yeah. Because I put a lot.
You put too much.
Yeah. Because I did several takes with the camera, so I sprayed several times. So yeah, I put.
Yeah, I think you had too much.
Yeah.
And if you had put flour, it might have been okay, but then I'm worried that the flour would have stuck on.
Oh,
Then
really?
what?
So it's a good. I was gonna put flour. I just forgot that
Yeah.
step.
Yeah.
So this is box cake.
Yeah, I see.
I made it from a box.
Yeah, right.
Do you get
And
angry?
there's a box in there? That's a box?
Well, what do you think of box cake? You make everything from scratch.
No, sometimes. No, we did box cakes too.
Yeah.
But we doctored them up a little bit.
Yeah. What do you?
Either extra egg or
Oh, okay.
an extract. Yeah.
Uh huh.
I don't know, but the bakers used to get up at like 12 o'clock in the night, 3 o'clock. They used to go bake at that time of day. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, all bakers went into bake at 3 o'clock in the morning so the fresh bread would come out and all this stuff. So they had like that crazy shift. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember when we come into work at the bakery, it was like 8 o'clock. These guys are already tired. They were going home at 9.
Wow.
Your daughter will love it
No,
if you let her eat it.
we'll have to do it tonight. All right.
This kid is unbelievable.
Now this one.
Yeah, look at her. Oh, she wants to sleep.
Well, now.
Yeah,
Wait till tonight, though.
I know. Oh.
What's that? You want to eat it? Yeah? What is it? Is it pineapple?
No.
No. Is it oranges?
Yeah.
Is it a face?
What's that face? Yeah? What do you see? A flower. Ooh.
Let's rock, let's roll. I got you moving, got you grooving, shaking out of control. At the juke joint, baby, where anything go. Come on and bounce with me, mama. Shake with me, mama.
Let's rock, let's roll. Got you moving, got you grooving, shaking out of control. We at the juke joint, baby, where everything goes. Come on and bounce with me, daddy. Shake with me, daddy.
Now what y'all know about us country folk? Got a party going on backwood for show. Banging track, banging bras, yeah, you already know. So fasten up them overalls and raise up off the porch and come witness things you never seen before. This ain't your average everyday type of do-si-do. This the juke joint, baby, where anything go. I'm talking knees, slapping toe, tapping, rocking for show. I'm talking Daisy Dukes dropping down, touching the flow. I'm talking tricked out Chevy sitting on 24s. Come on and bounce with me, mama. Bounce with me, mama. Shake with me, mama. Shake with me, mama. Let's rock, let's roll. I got you moving, got you grooving, shaking out of control. At the juke